Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I got my Columbus Crew hat on because they are currently playing the LAFC, and I hope they make that comeback. They are currently 2-3 on aggregate, 2-0 up tonight. But this is not a soccer channel, or a football channel, if you want to call it that. This is a Rocket League esports channel. So I'll be talking about the roster moves still, like I have up on the whiteboard. Got 2 days on here, Friday and Monday. Not much happened over the weekend because we had the 1v1 tournament. But in terms of the news that came out on Friday, a lot of big news there. In terms of the news that came out on Monday, another big piece of news there. So first off, Spacestation Gaming is not expected to continue with Frosty for the second split. They are targeting Kofyr to come in his place. Spacestation just barely missed out on LAN. As we know, they got Genji Miracle run on. They had 15 points. They would have been in a tiebreaker with Genji, which a lot of people do think they would have lost that to Genji based on the form that Genji showed that day. But they just barely missed out on LAN, and now Frosty's on the out. Truthfully, I know what a lot of people are going to say. A lot of people think that Frosty was the best player on Space Station. I personally thought that any single 3 of them could be the best player on any single given day. So it's very difficult for me to choose a best player on the team. That being said, there's like an age-old adage in this esport where 90% of the roster moves that ever happen have nothing to do with gameplay on the pitch. If I had to guess, that's exactly what's happening here. So, yeah, not continuing with Frosty. That being said, Kofyr in his spot, I think the same thing holds true. I think any 3 of Kofyr, Scribbles, and Reveal could be the best player on any single given day. So, in terms of, on the pitch, probably half for half. But if it is off the pitch, why Frosty is getting the boot, bringing Kofyr is about as good of an option as you could really ask for. That being said, I reported last video on 9 Lives and how they weren't going to continue with Hockser because Kofyr and Hockser didn't mesh well enough on the pitch. That's actually another, not really gameplay related. It's not just that Hockser sucks by any stretch of the imagination, but he just didn't mesh well with Kofyr on the pitch. Well, now that Kofyr's not on 9 Lives anymore, Hockser and Chicago are expected to team back up because why not? They've still got their 15 points. Do they have 15 points? No, they have 13 points. That's my bad. I thought they did better than they did. But they have 13 points. They're going to be looking at new thirds teaming back up together. Not really sure who they're going to get just yet. And there's also no guarantee this happens, but they are at least looking with each other again at this point, which I really like. I like the Hockser Chicago duo a lot. So, Pioneers, third one, expected to drop their roster. They made top 8 in the most recent North American event. It was JNAPS' retirement tour. They had Aqua and Aris as well. We're, of course, expecting JNAPS to stay in retirement, despite the fact that normally doesn't happen with Rocket League players. But Aris and Aqua will likely be dropped. Probably not continuing in the same team either, especially with this final bit of news, is that Evoh, formerly of Tech, he was with Common Talk for the first split, but he will be duoing with Aris for the next split, and they are looking for one as of now. Now, if you remember my off-season videos, everyone that I announced was a duo basically fell apart after a few weeks. So there's a chance this happens as well. But, at least as of now, this is the current plan. Then we have some 1v1 tournaments. Moxie qualified for LAN. Congratulations. Yan qualified for LAN. Congratulations. March 10th happened. And one of the biggest news of this transfer window is that the Gentlemates are going to be rebuilding around Seikoo. Stop me if you've heard that before. We had this basically almost exact situation during the offseason, but now it's just one step further. So the offseason, Seikoo was the centerpiece for the Gentlemates roster. He could either choose between teaming with Itachi and Oski or teaming with Juicy and Radosin. To a lot of people's surprises, he chose to team with Juicy and Radosin. Oski and Itachi went on to team with Nast. They didn't make the major, but they also got Miracle run on. So I guess not too surprising there. But now we are continuing to rebuild around Seikoo if we are Gentlemates. And we're going to decide between Radosin and Juicy. This is an attempt to keep your 8 points. Does 8 points get you super far? No. Could it be the tipping point in terms of qualifying for Worlds potentially through one of the top 4 spots? Yes. Will you be able to make a move before the LCQ if you need to as well? Also, yes. So he's deciding between, sticking with Juicy or sticking with Radosin. And currently the main candidate for their new third is Yujin. A lot of fans were speculating on this. Yujin, French. So obviously French comms there. Was performing really well with that Starpoint squad. So a lot of people, even like before the third event, before they completely bombed out, were like, yeah, Yujin's probably going to go to Gentlemates. Well, I would say that's looking much, much, much more likely. So congrats to Yujin if he does get that spot. It'll be good to see him start to break into that echelon of top tier French talent. Last move I will mention, for those who don't know who Laxin is, I highly recommend watching Scrimzworld because they were a lot of fun last split. He was teamed with Lunr and Caleb. They ended up taking down Wildcard in a Game 7 where Laxin absolutely popped off. They went on to beat TSM in the final 4-3 as well. They would win that event. That was event 2 of OCE. They didn't do so well in event 3. They are placed third in points over the split, but looks like Laxin is on the move. I think it was a team decision based on what I am hearing, but it's likely that Lunr and Caleb will be looking for one, while Laxin is going to look for another team to jump onto. So that is all from me for this week. I'm going to go back to watching soccer because I really hope the crew can win because that'd be a lot of fun. Hopefully you all enjoyed this update. I know there were tons of comments about the space station situation because I dropped the video and then 3 hours later, Space Station is making a massive move. Hopefully this also gives some insights on Gentlemates, and this will definitely be a roster to track as we continue into this off-season transfer, or what do you want to call it. Either way, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.